Fleet Commander Du Young stood tall in his dark blue Earth uniform before the Galactic Council. The massive chamber, with its high crystal ceiling and floating platforms, made him feel small, but he refused to show weakness. Above him, representatives from 30 alien species looked down with mixed expressions of amusement and pity. "You expect us to accept these museum pieces into our defense fleet?" Ambassador Ren's voice echoed through the chamber. The tall, silver-skinned alien displayed a hologram of Earth's ships. The old vessels, with their bulky nuclear engines and thick radiation shields, looked out of place next to the sleek alien crafts. "These ships are still in perfect working order," Du Young said firmly. "They have served Earth well for 40 years. Laughter filled the chamber. Some of the alien representatives didn't even try to hide their smiles. A holographic display showed the specifications of Earth's ships: nuclear thermal engines from 2080, protective shells made of simple metals, and chemical rockets for maneuvering. Ambassador Rian shook his head. "Commander, the smallest ship in our fleet has more computing power than your entire squadron. Your vessels still use nuclear fission. We abandoned that technology centuries ago." Du Young took a deep breath. He had expected this reaction, but it still made his blood boil. "With respect, Ambassador, these ships have proven themselves reliable in moving cargo between Earth and Mars." Another representative cut in. This one had blue crystals growing from his shoulders. "This is not a trading convoy, Commander. We face real threats. The Outer Rim colonies report strange movements. We need modern ships, not ancient relics." Du Young looked at the data displays floating around him. True, Earth's ships were older. They used simple nuclear engines while alien ships had exotic matter drives. Earth's computers were basic compared to alien quantum systems, but something about these alien ships bothered him. They were too dependent on complex technology, too delicate. The Alliance Agreement states that all member species must contribute to the defense fleet, Du Young reminded them. Earth offers 20 ships, fully crewed and ready for service. Ambassador Rian raised his hand for silence. "Very well. According to our laws, we must accept your contribution." His tone made it clear what he thought of those laws. "Your ships will be assigned to the outer patrol routes, areas where we expect no actual combat." More laughter followed. Du Young maintained his straight face, but his mind was already working. He had seen the reports about the Outer Rim. Something was coming. Something dangerous. These aliens, with their advanced technology, had forgotten something important. Sometimes the old ways worked best. As he left the chamber, Du Young's communicator buzzed. A message from Chief Engineer Jiwoo appeared on his screen. "Did they react as expected?" "Yes," he typed back. "They think our ships are worthless." "Perfect," Jiwoo replied. "Come to my lab. I have some ideas about our obsolete engines that might surprise them." Du Young smiled for the first time that day. Let them laugh. Let them assign Earth's ships to the distant patrol routes. They would soon learn that humanity's primitive technology had hidden strengths. Sometimes the simplest solutions were the best ones. Walking through the massive space station, past the gleaming alien ships with their impossible designs, Du Young felt more confident with each step. Earth's ships might be older, simpler, and less advanced, but they were built to last. Built to take punishment. Built by a species that had learned to make the most of limited resources. And soon, if Jiwoo's ideas worked, these laughing aliens would learn just how dangerous primitive technology could be in human hands. Chief Engineer Jiwoo's laboratory was nothing like the clean, bright spaces used by alien scientists. Tools lay scattered across metal tables. Holographic displays showed the inner workings of Earth's old nuclear engines. The air smelled of machine oil and hot metal. Du Young ducked under a hanging piece of engine shielding as he entered. "Your message sounded urgent," he said. Jiwoo looked up from her work. Her dark hair was tied back messily, and her uniform's sleeve had burn marks. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a hologram of an alien shield generator. "I've been studying the technology they gave us access to. The aliens only shared their older systems with us," Du Young reminded her. "Nothing important." Jai-Wu smiled. "That's where they made their mistake. Their old technology is actually perfect for what we need." She pressed a button, and a new hologram appeared, one of Earth's nuclear engines. "Our ship's engines are simple, but they produce massive amounts of raw power. The aliens think this is wasteful. Their engines are more efficient." "How does this help us?" Du Young asked, studying the display. Ji-Woo's eyes lit up with excitement. "Their shield technology needs lots of power to work. Their modern engines are too precisely controlled. They can't handle power surges. But our old nuclear engines," she laughed, "they're like rivers of energy. Rough, yes, but powerful." She walked to another table and picked up a small device. "I modified this alien shield generator to work with our power systems." The results were amazing. The shields became 5 times stronger than anything their ships can produce. Do Young leaned forward. "You're saying our primitive engines are actually better for their shield technology?" "Much better," Ji-Woo said. "But that's not all." She showed him more diagrams. "Their weapons, their sensors, their artificial gravity systems, they all work better with lots of raw power. Our old engines can give them more power than they were ever designed to handle." "Can it be done safely?" Du Young asked, thinking of his crews. Ji-Woo nodded. "That's the beautiful part. Our ships were built to handle nuclear accidents. The safety systems are simple but incredibly strong. We can channel much more power through them than through the aliens' delicate ships." Do Young walked around the hologram, thinking hard. "The aliens gave us those outer patrol routes because they think our ships are useless. This could give us an advantage if we're attacked first." "Exactly," Ji-Woo said. She pulled up another display, showing one of Earth's ships. "I can modify our entire fleet. From the outside, they'll look the same, old and harmless. But inside," she smiled again, "we'll have more shield power than their best battleships." "How long?" Du Young asked. 2 weeks for the first ship," Ji-Woo said. "Once we prove it works, maybe 2 months for the whole fleet. I'll need a good team. Someone like weapons specialist Tamin." Do Young nodded. "I'll get you whatever you need. But keep this quiet. Let them think we're just trying to make our old ships more modern." As he turned to leave, Ji-Woo called after him. "Commander, there's something else." She showed him one final diagram. "The aliens are so focused on efficiency, they've forgotten something important. Sometimes brute force is exactly what you need." Do Young looked at the diagram and smiled. The aliens had given Earth their worst technology and their most dangerous patrol routes, thinking they were being clever. But they had just given humanity exactly what it needed to create something unprecedented. Warships that combined the raw power of Earth's primitive technology with the sophisticated systems of an advanced civilization. Let them keep laughing, he thought. Soon, they would learn what human engineers could do with obsolete technology. The moon base looked ordinary from the outside. Its gray domes blended with the lunar surface, and official records listed it as Fleet Modernization Center Beta. Inside, however, something extraordinary was happening. Weapons specialist Tamin walked through the airlock, carrying a box of modified alien shield generators. The large workshop area was filled with the sound of machinery and voices. 20 Earth ships sat in underground hangars, their hulls open like patients on operating tables. "How's the power integration coming along?" Ji-Woo called from beneath one of the ships. She slid out on a mechanical creeper, her face covered in metallic dust. "Better than expected," Taemin said, placing the box on a nearby table. "These old nuclear engines are amazing. They're like having a small sun in a box. The alien shield systems love all that extra power." Jai-Woo stood up and wiped her hands on a cloth. "Show me the latest test results." Taemin activated his tablet, displaying a video from their last secret trial. In it, a small drone fired energy weapons at a test shield. The shield didn't just block the attacks, it absorbed them completely. The aliens designed these shields to run on tiny amounts of power, Taimin explained. When we hook them up to our nuclear engines, they become almost unbreakable. Commander Du Young entered the workshop, followed by several engineers. "How many ships are ready?" he asked. "3 so far," Ji Woo answered. "We're working on the 4th. Each one is stronger than the last as we learn more." Do Young nodded and looked at the nearest ship. From the outside, it still looked old and basic, but inside, it was becoming something new, a perfect mix of human and alien technology. "The alien inspectors are coming next week," he said. "We need to be careful. They can't know what we're really doing." Jo Woo smiled. "Don't worry. We've set up fake work areas. They'll see exactly what they expect. A few simple upgrades to bring our primitive ships up to their minimum standards." Taimin brought up another display, showing the weapon systems he had modified. "We found something interesting about our nuclear engines," he said. "If we channel the power in a certain way, we can create energy beams stronger than anything the aliens have." "How is that possible?" Du Young asked. "The aliens focus on control and efficiency," Ji Woo explained. "Their weapons are precise but limited. Our engines are like rivers compared to their carefully measured streams. When we combine that raw power with their focusing technology..." She paused. "Well, let's just say they won't be laughing anymore." A warning light flashed, and everyone quickly moved to their positions. A supply ship was landing at the base's official dock. They had become good at this routine, hiding their real work and pretending to be just another repair facility. 2 more weeks, Ji Woo said quietly to Du Young. 2 more weeks, and the first squadron will be ready for real tests." Do Young watched his team work. Humans had always been good at taking existing things and finding new ways to use them. The aliens thought they had given Earth outdated technology and useless patrol routes. Instead, they had given humanity exactly what it needed to create something unexpected. In the depths of the lunar base, Earth's obsolete ships were becoming something new. They still looked old and harmless on the outside, but inside, they were becoming more powerful than anything in the alien fleet. And soon, very soon, everyone would know what human engineers could do with a little time and a lot of ingenuity. The aliens had made a simple mistake. They had underestimated humanity's ability to adapt and improve. That mistake would cost them their sense of superiority, and it might just save the galaxy in the process. The emergency alert woke Du Young from a deep sleep. Red lights flashed in his quarters on the lunar base. He rushed to the command center, still pulling on his uniform jacket. "Report," he ordered as he entered the room. The large screen showed a scene of chaos near the outer colonies. "Sir, we're receiving distress signals from Colony 7, an officer said. "They're under attack. The aliens call them the Swarm." The main screen showed strange ships moving through space. They looked like giant insects made of dark, organic material. Energy weapons from the Allied fleet fired at them, but the shots simply disappeared into the creatures' hulls. "Play the latest transmission," Du Young ordered. A desperate voice filled the room. "Allied command, this is Colony 7. Their shields absorb everything we throw at them. Our weapons are useless. The alien ships, they're being torn apart. We need immediate assistance." Do Young watched as an elegant alien battleship fired its most powerful weapons at one of the swarm vessels. The shots did nothing. The organic ship simply opened its mouth-like front and bit through the battleship's hull. "Get me Ambassador Rian," Du Young said. While he waited, he sent a message to Ji Woo. "How many ships are ready?" 5, came the quick reply. "All fully modified and tested." Ambassador Rian's face appeared on the screen. The usually confident alien looked worried. "Commander Du Young, this is not a good time. We have a crisis." "I can see that," Du Young interrupted. Your advanced ships aren't doing very well against these creatures, are they? Their organic hulls absorb energy weapons, Ryan admitted. We've never seen anything like it. Even our strongest shields can't stop their attacks. What if I told you Earth's ships might have a better chance? Ryan laughed, but it wasn't the same mocking laugh from before. This one had an edge of desperation. Your obsolete vessels. They would be destroyed in seconds. Maybe not, Du Young said. We've made some improvements. Let us try. Colony 7 is close to our patrol route anyway. There was a long pause as more distress signals came in. More Allied ships were being destroyed. Finally, Ryan nodded. Very well. You have permission to engage. But, Commander, he leaned closer to the screen. Don't throw your crew's lives away needlessly. Du Young ended the transmission and sent orders to his 5 modified ships. They had trained for weeks in secret, testing their new capabilities. Now it was time to show everyone what they could do. Sir, another officer called out. The swarm ships are moving deeper into Allied space. Colony 7 reports massive damage. The civilian death toll is rising. Not for long, Du Young said quietly. He watched as 5 dots appeared on the tactical display, moving fast toward the battle. Earth's ships, still looking old and harmless on the outside, but carrying enough power in their modified engines to change everything. He opened a channel to all 5 ships. Remember your training. Use full power on your shields. Don't hold back on the weapons. Show them what humanity's obsolete technology can do. The first reports from the battle would arrive soon. Du Young felt strangely calm. The aliens had laughed at Earth's nuclear-powered ships, thinking them relics of a primitive age. They were about to learn that sometimes the old ways, combined with new ideas, could be more powerful than anyone expected. The command center was silent as they watched the 5 Earth ships approach the battle zone. Colony 7's defense platforms were already destroyed. 3 alien battleships drifted in space, torn apart by the swarm's attacks. The organic enemy ships moved toward the colony's main habitat dome. Earth vessels, this is Colony 7, a tired voice called over the radio. We appreciate your bravery, but please stay back. We've lost too many ships already. Jiwoo's voice came through clear and strong. She was on the lead ship, monitoring the modified engines. Colony 7, hold on. We're about to show you something new. The swarm noticed the approaching ships. 3 of their organic vessels turned, their mouth-like weapons opening wide. They expected an easy kill. All ships, power up shields to maximum. Du Young ordered from the command center. Show them what our old engines can really do. The first swarm ship fired its biological weapons, streams of acid that had melted through the advanced alien ships. The acid hit the shields of the lead Earth ship and splashed away harmlessly. The shield glowed bright blue, powered by the massive energy of its nuclear engine. Shields holding at full strength, Jiwoo reported. The power output is stable. These creatures have no idea what they're facing. The swarm ships attacked again, this time all together. Their weapons had destroyed the best ships in the Allied fleet. But against the modified Earth vessels, they did nothing. The simple but incredibly powerful nuclear engines fed endless energy into the alien shield technology, creating defenses stronger than anything seen before. All ships, prepare to return fire, Du Young commanded. Show them our new weapons. Ta Min's voice came over the radio. Weapons ready. These creatures think they can absorb energy. Let's give them more than they can handle. 5 beams of pure energy shot out from the Earth ships. The swarm vessels tried to absorb the attack like they had absorbed all others. But these weren't the precise, efficient weapons of the advanced aliens. These were raw streams of power, created by pushing modified alien technology far beyond its normal limits. The swarm ship's organic hulls began to glow. They tried to move away, but it was too late. The energy was too much. One after another, they burst apart, unable to contain the massive power being forced into them. Colony 7, are you seeing this? Du Young asked. "By the stars," the colony commander replied. "Your ships, how are you doing this?" More swarm vessels turned to attack. They had never retreated before, had never needed to. But against these strange old ships with their impossible weapons, they began to fall back. Ambassador Rian, Du Young called over a special channel. "Are you watching?" I am," Ryan replied. His voice was shaking. "Those can't be the same ships. The power readings we're seeing, they're impossible." "Not impossible," Du Young said. "Just unexpected. Sometimes old technology, used in new ways, can surprise you." He watched as his 5 ships drove back the swarm, protecting the colony with shields powered by the nuclear engines everyone had laughed at. The same engines that now powered weapons strong enough to destroy creatures that had resisted the best alien technology. The aliens had called Earth's ships obsolete. They had mocked humanity's nuclear engines and simple construction. But now, they watched in silence as those same ships did what their advanced vessels could not: fight back against the swarm and win. News of the battle at Colony 7 spread quickly through the Alliance. Young Tactical Officer Hay Newell stood at her station on one of Earth's modified ships, watching as more swarm vessels appeared on her screen. But this time, they weren't facing just 5 Earth ships. The entire Earth fleet was ready. "All vessels report ready for combat," Hay Newell announced to Commander Du Young, who had moved his command center to the flagship. "Engine power levels are at maximum." The swarm had returned with a larger force, expecting to overwhelm the Earth ships like they had done to the Allied fleet. Instead, they found 20 upgraded vessels waiting for them, their nuclear engines humming with power that made the sensors spark. "Begin attack pattern 3, Du Young ordered. "Show them what a real fleet can do." Newell coordinated the fleet's movements with precision. The Earth ships moved in formation, their thick hulls easily absorbing hits that would have destroyed more delicate alien vessels. When a swarm ship tried to bite through their armor, it found layers of reinforced metal protecting the vital systems. "Their attacks are getting stronger," Jay Wu reported from engineering. "They're adapting, trying to find our weakness. Then we'll show them our strength," Du Young replied. "Hey Newell, signal all ships. Full power to weapons." 20 beams of energy shot out, each one powered by a nuclear engine that the aliens had called primitive. The swarm's organic ships tried to absorb the energy like before, but there was too much. Their biological shields began to fail. "They're retreating," Hay Newell announced. The crew cheered as the massive swarm fleet turned away, leaving behind the broken remains of their ships. Ambassador Ren's voice came through the command channel. "Commander Du Young, the Council requests an immediate meeting. We need to understand how your ships are doing this." "Of course," Du Young said, "but first, we need to protect the other colonies. The swarm will attack again, and next time, they'll be even stronger." Hay Newell's screen lit up with new signals. More Allied ships were arriving. But they stayed back, watching as Earth's obsolete fleet cleaned up the remaining swarm vessels. The same ships that had been laughed at were now leading the defense of the Alliance. "Sir," Hay Newell called out, "I'm receiving requests from other Alliance ships. They want to know if we can modify their vessels the same way." Du Young smiled. "Tell them that Earth is happy to share our technology. Sometimes the old ways and the new ways work better together." The Earth fleet moved through space, their thick hulls marked with battle damage, but their systems still running strong. They had proven that humanity's approach to technology, simple, reliable, and incredibly powerful when pushed to its limits, had value that the more advanced species had forgotten. "Another swarm fleet detected," Hay Newell reported. "They're targeting Colony 4. "Set course," Du Young ordered. "Let's show them again why they shouldn't underestimate Earth's old ships." The fleet moved out, their nuclear engines pushing them forward. They weren't elegant or advanced by alien standards, but they were strong, reliable, and now, thanks to human ingenuity, more powerful than anyone had thought possible. The Grand Council chamber looked different now. Where once there had been laughter and mockery, now there was respectful silence. Commander Du Young stood at the center, but this time he wasn't alone. Chief Engineer Ji Woo and Weapons Specialist Tu Min stood with him, facing the assembled alien representatives. Ambassador Rian spoke first. His voice carried none of its former arrogance. The Council has reviewed the battle footage from the past week. Your ships have destroyed more swarm vessels than the entire Allied fleet combined. We were wrong about Earth's technology. We don't seek an apology, Du Young said firmly. We seek cooperation. The swarm is still out there, growing stronger. We need to work together. Ji Woo stepped forward, activating a holographic display. We've prepared detailed reports on how we modified our ships. The combination of our nuclear engines and your shield technology created something new, something better than either technology alone. The alien representatives leaned forward, studying the diagrams with intense interest. The same designs they had dismissed as primitive now held their complete attention. The power output from your nuclear engines, one alien scientist said, it's far beyond what we thought possible. How do you contain it safely? Tu Min answered, our ships were built to handle nuclear power. The safety systems are simple but extremely strong. We don't try to control the power perfectly like your ships do. We built our vessels to handle the raw force. Images appeared on the chamber screens showing Earth's ships in battle. The thick hulls, the massive engines, the modified weapons. Everything the aliens had laughed at was now saving their colonies. We request, Ambassador Rian said carefully, that Earth share this technology with the Alliance. Our shipyards stand ready to learn from your engineers. Du Young nodded. Of course. But remember, this success came from combining our different approaches. Your advanced technology and our robust engineering working together. A new alarm sounded. The swarm had been detected near 3 more colonies. But this time, there was no panic. Earth's ships had proven they could fight these enemies. The Council officially recognizes Earth's fleet as the primary defense force against the swarm threat, Rian announced. All Allied ships are ordered to support and protect Earth vessels during combat operations. Ji Woo smiled as she watched the aliens studying her engine modifications. They're beginning to understand, she said quietly to Du Young. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Not just the old ways, Du Young replied. The combination of old and new, that's what makes us strong. The chamber filled with the sounds of discussion as alien engineers asked questions about Earth's ships. The same vessels they had called museum pieces were now the most valuable ships in space. Humanity had taken their primitive technology and turned it into something that could save the galaxy. And in the depths of space, more Earth ships were being modified, their nuclear engines ready to power a new generation of vessels that combined the best of human and alien technology. The laughter had stopped, replaced by respect for the species that never gave up on their old, reliable ways. 6 months had passed since the first battle against the swarm. The lunar shipyards looked very different now. Alien engineers worked alongside human technicians, learning the art of building vessels that combined the best of both worlds. Commander Du Young walked through the main construction bay with Ambassador Rian. Above them, a new class of ship took shape. It had the thick, sturdy hull of an Earth vessel, but contained the most advanced alien systems ever created. The first Defender-class hybrid ship, Rian said, looking up at the massive vessel. Built with Earth's philosophy of power and durability, but incorporating our most sophisticated technology. Who would have thought our two approaches could work so well together? Du Young smiled, remembering the mocking laughter from their first meeting. Sometimes the best solutions come from unexpected places. How are your engineers adapting to our methods? They're learning, Rian admitted. It's not easy for them to accept that sometimes brute force is better than precision. But the results speak for themselves. In the testing area, Ji Woo and Tu Min were working with a mixed team of human and alien scientists. They had created something new. Engines that combined the raw power of nuclear fusion with the elegant control systems of alien technology. The swarm attacks have decreased by 80%, Jiwoo reported as Do Young approached. They've learned to fear our ships. The few times they still attack, they retreat as soon as our vessels appear. And the new hybrid ships will be even stronger, Taemin added. He showed them the latest test results. We're achieving power levels that neither of our species thought possible. A group of alien students watched as Hae Newell demonstrated Earth's combat tactics. The young officer had become famous throughout the Alliance for her skill in using the modified ship's unique capabilities. Now she was teaching others how to think differently about space combat. Strength isn't just about having the most advanced technology, she explained to her students. It's about using what you have in the best possible way. Do Young looked at the status displays showing the Alliance's combined fleet. Earth's obsolete ships now led every major defense squadron. The aliens had learned that sometimes the old ways, made new again through innovation, were exactly what was needed. We're receiving requests from 17 different species, Ryan said. They all want to learn Earth's engineering methods. They want to understand how you think about technology. Tell them we're happy to teach, Do Young replied. But remind them, this isn't about one way being better than another. It's about finding the best combination of approaches. The shipyard's massive doors opened, revealing a newly completed vessel. It had the solid, reliable look of an Earth ship, but gleamed with alien technology. As it moved out into space, Do Young thought about how far they had come. The aliens had laughed at humanity's old ships, thinking them relics of a primitive age. Instead, those ships had shown the way to a new future. A future where the straightforward power of Earth's technology worked together with the sophisticated systems of advanced aliens to create something greater than either could achieve alone. As the new ship disappeared into the darkness of space, Do Young knew that humanity had earned more than just respect. They had shown the galaxy that true progress doesn't always mean abandoning the old ways. Sometimes it means finding new ways to use the simple, reliable things that worked all along. The laughter had stopped. The future had begun.